Here's your bonus video, Tarot Maniacs. We're going backstage and we're talking about Bad Boys of Rock and Roll. Second one this week, Phil Lynott, Thin Lizzy. Be right back. Welcome, welcome. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. And in this video, this whole week, we are going to be talking to dead rock stars. I had a number of viewers and clients ask me to dip into my mediumship more. And so I'm answering that call, and we're going to be talking to some of the hottest rock stars of all time. Phil Lynott is up there on my list. Yesterday, I did Bon Scott. And whew, it was hot stuff. Today, we're going to talk about Phil Lynott, who is another one of my very, very favorite rock stars from the 70s. He is a super underrated icon. He was soulful, poetic. He was a published poet, very rebellious, deeply Irish, and sweet to look at. I actually ordered an overpriced dress from Korea with his face on it, have it somewhere upstairs, and I have to wear it as a tank top because it was this big when I got it. So welcome to Deceased Bad Boys. Let's go. And we are going to do our ghost notes on this as well. We're going to ask him to pitch in some opinions. But here we go. Phil Lynott, rebel, romantic, and rock poet from beyond. Some fun facts about him, because I do think that he is an underrated rock star and an under-researched and promoted rock star. Born in 1949 in West Bromwich, England, he was born to a white Irish mother and a black Brazilian father. Phil was raised by his grandparents in Dublin, giving him a gorgeous Irish accent and making him one of the few Black figures in Irish public life during his lifetime. His rise to fame as the frontman and primary songwriter for the band Thin Lizzy, he blended poetry, mythology, and working class grit into rock anthems like The Boys Are Back in Town and Whiskey in the Jar. My favorite song, the Cowboy song, I know. And also Still Loving You is on my list. That song just makes me weak in the knees. So he was also, like I said earlier, a published poet and had a deep love for Irish folklore, romanticism, and lyrical storytelling, which you can see in that rock package that he gave us in the 70s. Sadly, he died at the age of 36 in 1986 from complications due to sepsis and pneumonia, and that stemmed from years and years and years of substance abuse. His death did shock the rock world, and there was some story that there was going to be some more music coming out from him. In the final interviews that he did talk about working on some new projects in the near future. But he left behind a legacy of emotional vulnerability. One of the best power ballads, the "Still Loving You" is amazing. I think it qualifies as a power ballad. And Thin Lizzy with the twin guitars really had an amazing sound and an amazing, gorgeous, tall Black Irish frontman. So let's talk to him about the music industry today. Hope you guys are as excited about this one as I am. Let's bring up that card view. Before I do it, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get going. Let's go backstage right now, guys. We are going there. So, Phil, how do you see the soul of rock and roll in today's music scene? Now, oddly enough, I just want to say this. I was talking to my hairdresser, Steven, at Chop Chop Bang Bang in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Shout out to Steven. And he is a musician, an amazing singer in his own right. And we were talking about the future of the music industry. And both of us do think that the music industry is going to trend back to more organic sounds, less production, and that it seems to be doing that. In his estimation, he has his finger on the pulse of the industry a little bit more than I do at the moment. But Phil, Lynott. How do you see the soul of rock and roll in today's music scene? And we have the Knight of Wands and the Ace of Cups. New beginnings. There are going to be new things that people are going to be writing. And I do want to let you guys know I am using Parisi Studios Classic Rock Tarot. You can go to parisistudios.com if you'd like to buy this deck for yourself. It is a fabulous deck if you like rock stars, if you like classic rock, amazing artwork, and if you like tarot, go get it. I have no relationship with Parisi Studios, but I do love this deck. So Phil Lynott sees that there's the spirit of rock and roll right now is we have individuals that are going forth, being a bit more creative and starting some interesting things, new, different changes on the horizon for us. So that's kind of cool. Oh, and you know what's really wild, guys? Look, he's right there. Hi, baby. So, Phil, do you recognize any echoes of your storytelling in any modern artist? Do you recognize the echoes of your storytelling in any modern artists? There's going to be a bit more psychic stuff on this, guys, so just sit tight. You know, I don't think that there is anyone on the horizon that he can point to at the moment. It's almost as if he is calling for a single man to kind of come to the front and take that mantle. While we have lots of, and we talked about this in the Bon Scott reading, while we have lots of production and business behind everything, we really need a champion to come forward. And it will be a particular champion that steps out from a trio, I believe, from a smaller group of men. We have the three of swords there, so we may see someone step out from behind step out in front of a group and kind of branch off into a solo thing. So I don't know if we have that poet, rock star, sex god yet. So what's your perspective on the dominance of AutoTune and heavy computer production in modern music today? How do you feel about technology? Does it enhance expression or does it dull the organic authenticity? What do you think about the implementation of computers? So immediately I am getting that the speed at which music can be produced is something that he really liked, because his writing style was like almost a conveyor belt for him, the way that he wanted to tell a story. And he does think that AI and those kinds of things would fill in the gaps. Like, remember in Jurassic Park when they said, you know, we're going to use frog DNA to fill in the gaps of the dino DNA. He is of the opinion that it would fill in the gaps, but it's no substitute for raw talent. Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Swords in reverse. The reliance on AI and AutoTune and those kinds of things, they're grabbing product, a sellable personality, and putting that forth and saying, all right, well, let's just, you know, clean up the edges. Let's just snip up the edges and make this look really good. So yes, I do think he thinks it would be a benefit for those that actually are talented. I think he's under the impression that it is used to create talent where there is limited talent. And therefore, we're seeing some buried talent out there. The true kings of swords, they're put on the outside of things with that Five of Pentacles. They're not able, if they don't have a business sense. In his opinion, the music industry should be, I hear this great musician and let me bring you in so that I can amplify your voice and let people see what you have, rather than we've got this individual who takes photographs really well, moves really well, and we could just kind of plug the sound into it. So I think, he's not real keen on AutoTune as a creator of music, but an enhancer. He does think that it does enhance it. And it silences authenticity. I think that's really what we see. Would Thin Lizzy have used it? Say everybody was still alive in the band. Would Thin Lizzy would they have used AI, AutoTune, those kinds of things? AutoTune, absolutely not. Oh, and there's Tina Turner. Absolutely not. They would not have used AutoTune on the vocals. He would not have liked that. What about digital technology for the guitar sounds? No, I think they would have walked away from that as well. If we can't make it come out of the guitar organically, then we can't perform it live, is really the messaging there. So what advice would you give to artists relying on digital track over raw feeling and live performances? What advice would you give to artists that use those things extensively? The Hierophant. Oh, the lovers. Go on home, kids. And the King of Pentacles. You're not selling anything. You're creating a false product. We have the Hierophant in reverse. You're bowing down and worshiping at the altar of money. You're creating a career for yourself, not out of talent, but because it is an opportunity to make money. And though you're not serving the audience well, if you are doing production only, you are not serving your audience well, because that's, and I think that there are some people in the industry that argue this. There is listening music, and then there's performing music. And I think there is probably in quiet offices some music moguls that are talking about that. We can craft listening music out of this, but this artist doesn't necessarily need to tour and perform it live. We don't necessarily have to get some pulses raised. We just have to create some ambient music in the background for people to listen to while they're dining, while they're hanging out, while they're having a party, while they're at the club. And the King of Pentacles, it is a false promise of relying on those digital tracks. It is not good. Does it make the artists really, those that perform live and use a lot of digital backing tracks, those kinds of things, is it creating space between the audience and artists, that connection, that magic that happens during a performance? And anyone that's ever been to a concert or a venue or an event like that, you know what I'm talking about. You know, when that, you feel it right through your chest when it happens. You know, you can actually feel it pumping right through you. So does the use of production and digital equipment during live performance interfere with the connection with the audience? Seven of Swords, again. Eight of Cups, get off the stage. And the Knight of Pentacles, you're giving them something fake. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is, we're producing something that is very, very fake. It is not a real performance. Is you know, if there's too much enhancement there, it's not a real performance. So let's ask him. And I know I owe you guys some videos on the Diddy trial, but Phil, what do you make of this scandal involving Sean Diddy Combs? Does it shock you, or did you see things like this in your own time? What do you think of Sean Diddy Combs and the trial that's going on? King of Swords in reverse. Like he is an Ace of Wands, the Empress in reverse, and Four of Cups in reverse. This is a cloudiness, but the King of Swords in reverse is like a serial person. I had to pause for a second. Sorry, guys. I still have a little bit of a cough from Christmas. I know it's June. It's been 6 months. So he thinks that there's a sickness about that person that's akin to one of those serial people. Ace of Wands, it's the focus came off the music and the art, and it went into the X drive, without any care about the women around them, or losing track of what women actually mean. It's one thing to love your mama. It's another thing to treat somebody else's child like a dish rag in a hotel room. You guys know what I mean. And the Four of Cups, very cloudy thinking. He thinks that there was a bit much, too much focus on the designer substances and amping that up. Just too much from that. It's he thinks it's pretty sick. He doesn't like it. He didn't witness anything like that in his time. What do you think this trial will do to the public's trust in the music industry? What do you think it will do, Phil, to the public's trust in the music industry? Seven of Swords. It's unmasking the bad players. It is unmasking the bad players. We have Seven of Swords in reverse, the Emperor in reverse, Hanged Man, and the Three of Pentacles. So it's going to certainly put the terrible people out front. We're going to see those on full display, and there will be many, is what Phil wants me to say. There's going to be a lot. There's a lot of people that just dialed it up way more than they needed to. But there will be some good folks. We have the good people of Rush in the Three of Pentacles. There will be some good people that will come to the fore and be able to create some new things. So I want to ask a question that's not on my list. So Phil, do you think that there's going to be a renaissance where we see more organically based music? I hate to say organically based, but music that is more stripped down in terms of production, highlighting more talent and less focus on the lifestyle. Do you think we're going to see something like that? And that is a Four of Swords. It's happening, but it's in its incubus period. Three of Cups, it's on its way. Two of Pentacles, and then we have the Ace of Swords. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer for it. This trial has to die down and kind of fade into everyone's, into the recesses of their mind. You can't really have this. I think they said the trial is going to be done by July. We'll have to get him sentenced. I said it. And have him tucked away. So what message do you have for artists, especially young women, that are navigating fame under powerful men? What message do you have for young women artists that are navigating fame under powerful men? The Lovers, it is not that kind of business. King of Pentacles, no money. Always swim with a buddy and use your best sense there. Use your best sense. His message is that X and business don't go together. So if anybody's asking you to do anything like that, it is not a business deal anymore. It's become something different. So anytime, there's one thing about being XE for the show, and there's another thing about someone treating you like that once the office door closes, and that is not part of the equation. There's going to be plenty of people that are going to throw themselves at you when you are a bright, beautiful, shining star, to quote Dirk Diggler. So let's move on to our next section. Actually, we're going to go into our ghost notes. Current energy, ghost notes. Where is your spirit now? Three of Cups, rejoicing. Have you transitioned yet? Queen of Pentacles, no. He can play my birthday party too, Phil. Wait for me, Phil. Wait till I get to heaven. You can sing to me on my birthday. I'll sing with you on my birthday. What vibes do you still carry from Earth? There's a great contentedness that I feel as he's regenerating on that side. I will tell you that. He is very relaxed in spirit. He's very much sitting around and kind of waiting. I have to do the math on it. I don't think that he went at his time, because the spirit will hang out in the in between until it's time for them to regenerate. So I don't know if just the soul was kind of bruised and battered and he's kind of hanging out for a little bit, but he feels very relaxed. What energy? So I got Seven of Swords, the Emperor, and the Knight of Pentacles. He did not use his platform. He thought that there was a lot more time. He had a lot more plans, and so he was a little bit shortchanged in his estimation. That is some of the vibes that he has there. But he does feel very patient. He's very patient, waiting for, the next round. So soul music today. What are you, Phil Lynott, seeing and feeling about the modern music world? What do you think is happening with it? So the Empress, it's in an incubation stage. So I think that he is under the impression that we're going to have a little renaissance too. It is recovering from it's recovering from an excess of individuals. I don't want to say talent, because he doesn't say talent. He's like, anybody can get up there if they're pushy enough. They can do what they do. They don't have to play bass. They don't have to play guitar. Don't have to play drums. Don't have to write. They just kind of roll in and just do it. Just do it. Phil, what do you think of Beyonce, though? Let me ask. Oh, he likes Beyonce. We got Page of Cups, definitely likes her, and the Ace of Wands, which is that's a little bit of actual energy there, guys. Like, I did that. Good for you, man. She is really pretty. So, yeah, the music industry, there's too many people of marginal talent. I think he considers Beyonce like an actual talent. But there's too many people of marginal talent that they use marketing and all the tricks, all the trickery to bring it to the fore. So I do think he's under the impression that's going to change. We're going to see more emerging artists. I think coming out of slightly younger than my kids. So the kids that are in like middle school now and even a little bit younger, I think we'll see more talent coming out of that. So what kind of messages do we have for those creators, for that new generation that's coming up? The ones that are unspoiled. We got a jump out card. The Magician. Oh, yeah. Get your raw materials and gears, kids. That was one of the things Greg and I said, we wish that we had a garage, because We just would love for Angus to like start a band in the garage, the feet men or whatever. Yeah. The message is get your tools together. So don't come to the fore and go, I've got a little bit of talent. I just want to be a singer, and AutoTune will fix it all. Take the music lessons, sing in the shower, do the things, bring your voice to the table. But there's also this message of there's a lack of academics behind it. This hermit in reverse, a lack of academics behind it, where you have to read, you have to experience, you have to listen to things to bring something different. You need the inspiration to come to the table and add something different to it. Our Four of Pentacles here, learn first and then the sky's the limit. You can kind of, if you know the rules, you can use them to your advantage. You can color outside the lines. Here, the world in reverse, music is not dead. 10 of Pentacles, it will always be something for people. It will always be something that we hear. And the Two of Wands, it doesn't have to continue down the road that it's continuing at this point. So it can be a little bit different in the future. We can get back to some of that organic, grainy kind of, we saw that with the grunge movement. We saw it go back to a more organic sound. So our final question, what would you do differently, Phil? Other than come meet me. What would you do differently, Phil? Travel. He would have traveled more. I can't imagine that a rock star would want to travel more. One of the things, having traveled with my ex-husband and bands, they don't get to see a lot sometimes, because you have tour dates that are right in a row. Ozzy was one of the on Ozfest back in the 90s. They would do one day on, one day off, one day on, one day off, but a lot of bands would do days in a row. Um, so he would have traveled more, and I think he would have traveled more in, what he's describing as the Orient. So I think that's more of like the Asian countries, China. I think he wanted to go to China more. I don't know. We can look that up. If you guys know, drop in the comments. So what would he do differently other than travel? That's a Page of Cups, Page of Cups. Six of Wands. He would have used his success to take some time off and do some of his own stuff. Now, would that have been writing? What would that have been? King of Cups. Seven of Pentacles and the Death card. He would have left legacy. He would have left more of a legacy in things that he produced. I don't know if he had any kids. I'm wondering if this is a regret of not having any kids. I think that's kind of it. I have to look it up. I don't think he had children. I think he would have left legacy. But there is something about, kind of enjoying the fruits of his labors and going about and doing some interesting things. So I'll have to look that up, see if he had any kids. So with that, guys, I am going to wrap this up. So let me know what you think. Would Phil Lynott have embraced AutoTune and technology? Do you think he would have? And also let me know what your favorite Thin Lizzy song or lyric is. And let me know if you think there's any modern artist that kind of matches up to him. He was really irreplaceable in my estimation, really a tremendous talent and an unusual, uncommon talent. So curious what you think. Let me know in the chat. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the future.